If you're soft or disrespectful, I'm going to call it out. Hey guys, welcome back to 5nothing100nothing.com. I am Fuggit. That stands for the fittest underdog guru using intelligent tactics. Guys, today I'm going to tell you a little story from the gym. So I'm having a conversation with an older woman who was just at her locker and was getting her stuff so she could go. And, you know, she's telling me a little story about something going on this weekend. And, you know, she's in her 80s. She's moving a little slower. And there's a guy, probably late 20s, maybe 30. And, you know, he's sweating like crazy from his workout. He's got his like really restrictive mask on. And he's standing behind us, kind of in our blind spot. And this lady's positioned so she can't see him at all. So he's probably 6-7 feet away. And I hear him like just sighing under his breath, and he's mumbling things. And he's looking around, and he's like tensing his fists. And so I immediately make the assumption that he just wants to get to his locker so he can get his stuff and go. So I'm thinking to myself, why doesn't this guy just say something? Why doesn't he ask? You know, I didn't want to cut her off mid-sentence, but I could see what was happening. So I was waiting for her to finish her thought. This literally was maybe 30 seconds at most, this whole interaction, okay? So now I hear him swearing under his breath and saying something about, you know, using insulting remarks about her being an old lady. So I decide to be the man in this situation. I go, hey, excuse me. And he's like, oh. And I was like, did you need to get to the locker? He goes, yeah. I said, oh, okay. So he like, you know, so she's like, oh, I'm sorry. And steps aside with a smile, you know, trying to look in his direction. And he still has his head down and he's mumbling still under his breath. And she could now tell that he's saying something, you know, disrespectful, but he's not man enough to actually say it to an old lady's face or to my face. And so I just step up to him. I was like, hey, buddy. I said, you're a grown man. I said, if you need to get to something, ask. I said, she kindly moved out of the way. I said, you don't need to be upset about it. And it totally shocked him. And he's like, oh, like had nothing to say. He could just tell his little pea brain was short-circuiting. And I was like really ticked off about it, because I'm like, why does that have to be a tense situation when you just need to open your damn mouth and say, excuse me, can I get to my locker? You know, be a gentleman. Who raised your ass? It was ridiculous. So I was looking at that and I'm like, you know, I'm seeing that more and more where people are just like, if you say excuse me or hold a door or anything that puts them out of their like comfort zone or gets in their way and is inconvenient, they see it as conflict and they freak the heck out over nothing. It's like, use your brain and quit being such an emotional little baby. So I was just really put off by that. You do not have to act like that. Be a little sniveling weasel and say all this crap under your breath. Say it to my face. Say it to her face. No. In fact, better yet, just have some manners and ask for what you want. You know, that's the problem with a lot of guys today dating, is they expect the woman to do everything, you know, from asking them out to, you know, following up to all this stuff. They don't want to do anything. And it's like, step it up. Be a man. Be assertive. It doesn't mean you're aggressive. What you're doing is passive aggressive. So, you know, I don't know what dysfunction you had in your family or who pissed in your cornflakes or what, but it's annoying